Hello Yuki Bandit. So I thought I'd do a video on Wonderful Tonight, looking at the picking parts and the arpeggio. We covered this in a session recently. It sounds great on the ukulele, and I've also adapted the chord version that we had. We had a ukulele version and it was slightly different on the ending. I've adapted that to sound exactly like the song. In fact, you can use this version to play along with Eric Clapton, which I think is ideal for practice. And it's also good, you can play this, pick any of these parts you want to do as well. You could play the arpeggio, you could play the lead, you could just strum and sing, you could just strum, you could strum simply, or you could make it more complex. There's lots of options and it's a nice slow song. So here we go, we're going to look at the Wonderful Tonight, the picking part to start with. So the chords in the intro section, G, D, C and D. Now all you've got here is 4/4, G, D, a bar G, bar D, bar C, bar D. So you could just strum this as 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, then a C, 1, 2, 3, 4, then a D, 2, 3, 4. That's a nice easy way of just playing that section. You could even keep it simpler than that and just go 1, 2, 3, 4 and do a chord strum on each. And if you want to make it sound more impressive, we can just do a little rake. So this is where we drag our thumb gently across the strings rather than one swift move. We're going to rake it down, drag it down the strings, and you could do that. That'd be a really nice way of enhancing it. But the section I've got here, the more intricate way, the thing that you hear on the record is this lovely arpeggio section. And what you've got is G chord, and then you're plucking. You're going to pluck from the G string at the top here. So top to looking at the floor, we're going to go from that 4th string here, and we're going to go all the way down to the 1st string. Now you could be doing this with a pick, you could be doing it with a thumb, or you could do it with all fingers. I like using all my fingers because it means I keep my hand in a steady place. That's with just the thumb. I've got a pick on hand somewhere. There is one here somewhere. There you go, there's a pick. So it doesn't really matter what you use because it's actually quite a slow arpeggio. You can choose whatever you feel most comfortable with. When we get to the bottom though, we're going to go 1 and 2 and then we're not playing on the 3rd beat. So it goes 1 and 2 and 3, and then we're going to play up and 4, and we're just going to play the 1st string, the 2nd string, the 3rd string, which is the A, E and the C. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... Now if we would listen to this as a strumming pattern, this is the arpeggio as a strumming pattern, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... It's what you know as our Ireland or Hawaiian strum. We hear this quite a lot, this down, up, miss, up, down, up. So you could do that rhythm which would mirror exactly what the arpeggio is playing. But the picking part, I think anyone can really do this with a little bit of practice. You can get quite fluent at this. Go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and nice and slowly. I'll show you what's going on there with the fingers. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and you're doing that on every chord. Once you've got that on the G, just practice it on the G. Once you feel comfortable, you're going to do that on the D, then the C, then back on the D. D, C, D. So practice that. It sounds really nice, just as a little exercise or something to do when you're playing other songs with those chords as well, G, D and C. You can easily play these patterns over any song in 4/4. Obviously if it's a nice slow song it's easier, if it's a faster song it's harder, but you can also apply that pattern to other chord progressions or other chords. So definitely have a go at doing that, and if you feel uncomfortable using all your fingers, use one finger, use a pick, and worst comes to worst, strum the pattern down, up, miss, up, down, up. Or you could just play a very basic strum. So there's plenty of options there for the intro chords. Now to the juicy bit, the lead part. So what we've got here, we've got our 4 strings. I think I've explained tabs a few times, so I won't go into too much detail. If you do get stuck, you might have to revert to one of my other tutorials, or there's lots of tutorials on YouTube of how to read the tabs, but I'll explain it a little bit. So you've got your 4 lines. The top line here is, it's actually the A string on the ukulele, so it's kind of like it's upside down, which is a bit weird when you're trying to read it, but the idea is that if it was printed paper, it'd be laying flat in front of you, which would mirror exactly how you'd sit with the ukulele and where the strings are, and that's kind of how it was designed. It wasn't really designed to be on a computer screen. So we've got our first, the top line here being the A string, the second string, which is our E, then C, then our G. So in other words, this 2-0 is actually on the first string nearest the floor, the A string. And what you've got there at the beginning, that little block you see here, let me just put my cursor over it here, that is actually a rest, and it's a 2-beat rest. So if you count 2 beats, 1, 2, and then start the phrase, it'd be like this: 1, 2. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my first finger for that note, and then I'm going to use my second finger for the 3. We're not playing any notes on the first fret, so we don't need to use our second finger or third fret. You know, when we do chords, I say put your third finger on a C. Obviously, when we're doing chords, there's specific reasons, because you're changing to other chords. Because of the notes we're using are going to be from 2 upwards, then we're not going any further back than the second fret. So you can use your first finger, because we know we haven't got to move back at any point. So we're going to use our first finger on that 2, and then you're going to play open. Then you play 3rd fret on the 2nd string, which is your E string, and then you're going to play open on the 1st string. So it sounds like this: 1, 2. Now that curved line that you've got with the note, with the 0 with the bracket following up with it, that's actually a tied note, and what that means is when we go into the next bar, you just keep that note ringing. So in other words, the ending of every one of these phrases are going to ring. So that rings. The second phrase is very, very similar. We're going to play 2 open on that string, 3 on the string above on the E string, but then we finish on the open E string, so that we should be hearing that E. And then we've got 2 beats again with that ringing. This is what, also we look at the bracket notes, this is the same length as the rest. These are 2 beats, these notes. So that's how long it rings for, if you're not sure. But to be honest with you, if you listen to the song and you hum it and you get that little riff in your head, it's such a singable part that it shouldn't take you long just to get it by ear. You don't have to read music to get this. It's one of those songs where most people will probably know it, and if they don't know it, after a few times of listening to it, you probably won't be able to get it out of your head anyway. So that whole of that first, if I just highlight where I'm going to do it from, whole lot of that is like this: 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Now it's going to last. That last one, you can see it rings and there's no notes, so actually it lasts for 2 beats, and then there's another 2 beats to the end of the bar. So four beats before you go to the next chord, and then it just repeats again. So we're going to go 1, 2. So I'm on that second layer now. Let me move it above my head. So that's where I am now. And then that 2 beats, and then I'm going to play that again. Now this is where it gets really interesting, because we're going to play open, and then we play this really nice rundown. It's quite a recognisable one in the song as well. Yeah, that's fine. What I'm going to do is click on, so you can see. I'll move my head out of the way so that you can see the bottom line with the end note where it says verse starts. So that last one, I'll do it from here. So it's 2, 0, 3 on the second string, rings on the open, and then it goes to 2, 3, then you're going to go all the way up to 7, then 5. And so that should sound like this. So it's a really nice phrase. Playing from the beginning, if I do the whole thing now, Hopefully that makes sense. Obviously, take your time with it. You can pause the video on any of these parts. Just look at the sheet, go over it slowly, and even if you just get that one phrase, when the notes start connecting, it feels like magic in your hands. So we've got this: 1, 2. So that's the phrase. Obviously practice it really slowly. It's the intro to the song, and that is the arpeggio. Right, the only other thing really to go over is the song sheet, and then I think I'm going to do maybe a video separate where it scrolls down the sheet so that we can use it when we're playing and you can practice playing along with it. But also don't forget that you can play along with the original song. And any other version that's like the original as well. So let me get that Word file up. There you go. So this is the chord sheet, and we've got the lead and picking intro, which is what we just played. And you can see there's 2 lots of G, D, C, D, exactly how we played it, and the lead goes around exactly as we played it. Then we go into the song. We've got just you can just do strums, or you can do arpeggios, exactly the same thing because it's 4 beats to the bar. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, then 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's G, D, C, D, G, D, C, D. That happens twice through before it gets to, and then she asked me, and that's where we now go into C, then the D, and then we're going to go to this section here, which is 2 strums on the G, 2 strums on the D, 2 strums on E minor. That's actually 4 strums on E minor there, sorry. So you've got 2 strums on G, 2 strums, I've got a fly around my head, it's doing me in. So you've got two strums on the G, 2 strums on the D, and then 4 strums on the E minor, and then it goes to C again, 4 strums D, and now we're going into the lead section. So this little asterisk, if you like, on the G, what this is referring to is it's referring to I don't know why I did that. Right, so let's do it as an asterisk. There you go. This refers to it being the start of where the lead part occurs. So the lead part is this part that goes in here on the G. So when we play that G chord, that's where you'll hear that lead player. If you're just doing strums, it doesn't really matter. You just do like you normally do, 4 strums on G, 4 strums on D. To be honest with you, listening to the song is the key. Listen to it, maybe with a sheet in hand, follow through so you can hear where those changes occur, maybe even count the beats on some of them, it will help. But if you get familiar with the song, it's very easy to pick out. If you're not familiar with the song, then really just going through the chord chart won't help on its own. You need to kind of have something to reference it to. So just go over that again. We've got our 4 beats per bar strumming on the intro, or you do the lead and arpeggios. We've got our G, D, C, D, 4 beats on each, 4 beats again on each. She puts her makeup, long blonde hair. Then it goes into C for 4, D for 4, and then we've got this section here, Do I Look Alright? It's just 2 strums on G, 2 strums on D, and then 4 on E minor. And then it goes to C for 4, then 4 for D, and then we're going into our intro again, which is 4 strums on each. Or the arpeggios, you can do the arpeggios throughout if you want. It's up to you how you do that, as long as it fits and it's, the chords are in the right place for the right length. Then it's another verse again, which is exactly the same as what we've just done until we get to the very last line. So it goes, do you feel all right? And then it goes, yes, I feel wonderful tonight. So that is really just it's normal until you get to the G7 at the end. Whereas on the end of this First verse with a little asterisk and we play the lead. This time we don't. We've got no asterisks here. We just play a G7 for one bar. So the bit where it goes, do I look alright, will be exactly the same. And then yes, I feel wonderful tonight. Then it goes to G, 2, 3, 4. Then a G7, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we go to our new section. It's like a middle section here where we go, I feel wonderful because I see the love light in your eyes. So this is 4 strums on C, 4 strums on D, then 2 strums on G, 2 strums on D, 4 strums on E minor, exactly like the end of that other section. Then the C for 4 strums, 4 strums on D, then 4 strums again on C. Now this bit's nice, if you can hold the chord, because he actually holds the chords and then he says how much I love you. There's still 4 beats there, but he holds the chords for a strum. Of course, you're not going to know these things unless you're familiar with the track. So same thing again, just go back. If you go over the first verse and you're starting to get that, then do the second verse. Try not to go through the whole song in one hit without even listening to the song, because it's quite easy to get lost or wrongly interpret things. So definitely on that section, isolate it. I feel wonderful because I see the love light in your eyes, and listen to it and try and obviously count the strumming and pick the parts on that. And then how much I love you, this is where the lead comes in again. Now the first time we do the lead, it's twice round. This little gap here is a shorter version. It's just the last line of the lead. That's all it is the last line of the lead on this bit. So he doesn't play it twice round there. I think in our previous version we did have it twice round, but like I said, I've just doctored it slightly to match exactly the record, because I think it'd be very useful to play along with the record as opposed to kind of doing a separate version that isn't quite the same. And then this version at End I Love You, this is like obviously the same as the intro and the lead again. And then we're on the last verse. It's almost home and dry now, and this is where I changed it from the ukulele version that we had, because at the end it didn't have this section and it had D7s here, and it didn't sound quite right to me because I know the song, but you can kind of get away with changing things, but I don't think it actually made it any easier. I just think it made it different. So this last verse, it's the same again, 4 on G, 4 on D, 4 on C, 4 on D. We're going to do exactly the same thing, so I give up the car keys, she helps me to bed, so G4, D4, C4, D4. Then it's C again, for 4, then I tell her, as I turn out the light, it's 2 on G, 2 on D, 2 on E minor, sorry, E4 on E minor, I keep saying that, but it's 4 on E minor on the light. And then it will be, I say my darling, so 1, 2, 3, 4, then 4 on D. Now this is the bit that it sounds really nice on the record, and it sets you up for the ending to repeat. And so I think it's a really clever bit of chord playing and kind of really important to the song. So I've basically put it in and included it. And it really just goes 2 on G, 2 on D, 2 on E minor, 2 on D. And that sets us up for playing the C again for 4, D for 4. And then we're going to go into the solo for G. 1, 2, 3, 4, D, 2. So as soon as you get to this asterisk here with the G, that's where the lead starts. And you just carry on playing 4 on each chord. And on the very last chord, the very last G, just actually do 1 strum. So let it ring out for the last 4. So it'll be 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's how it will end. So I've just kind of did a little breakdown on the strumming and the rhythms and the things to kind of listen for, but the clue would really be, please listen to the song, have it with sheet in hand. This actually matches the song, so if you were to play along with it using this sheet, it would work. And actually there's, we don't need things like D7s, we just do the normal Ds. We don't need anything else. There's nothing else more sophisticated. These chords are fairly straightforward, because even if you're struggling a little bit changing to D, the E minor, and back again, the G, the D, E minor, we can do them as 1 strums and count to. So you can go So that bit where it goes wonderful tonight, you can go G, then D, then E minor, D. No problem at all. You could even leave something out if you're really struggling. Just do the G, the D, and hold on the D. You could miss doing the E minor if you're really struggling. Obviously, I'd urge you to get good at it, but if you're in the group, don't feel pressured in trying to do everything. You could just even do the night, let someone else carry the turnaround, and then come back in for the C. The clue is, or the key is with all of this is knowing how many beat swings last for and where you are. So if you were to miss out that D, E minor, D bit, that when you come back in on the C, you're in the right place. So at least counting it or strumming it, ghost strumming it without actually playing anything, so that you're mimicking the beats that are being played, is really helpful. And then you can make the song super simple, and you can make the song super intricate and interesting by trying to put all the parts together. You could put the lead and the arpeggio and the strumming and the singing. So there's a lot of good stuff. This is a good song to do, and I think it's from a group perspective, I think it's plenty doable, because it's not one of those songs where the words are too out of line with where your chords are. So I think it's quite an achievable group song. Anyway, so that will do for my video today. Obviously, give me some feedback. Let me know if there's anything else you need help with, and yeah, give me some feedback. That'd be cool. And what I'll do is I'll do a separate one where this is scrolling for us to use and play along with. But you can easily do this with the original song as well, if you've got the sheet as well. So anyway, that will do for today, and I will speak to you soon. Take it easy.